Hi guys, welcome to another vlog. Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's vlog is basically me just wrapping up the story of my relocation and how the day of my trip actually went. So for context, this is a continuation of um the first part of, not really a first part, but like there's a vlog on my channel where I did like a daily check-in leading up until the day of my trip, and I was going to just talk about, like, also vlog my trip as well, but it did not go as I planned, and so hence this video. So let's get right into the tea. What had happened was that I had booked a flight for Saturday, and I did not know that Saturday was going to be elections in Abuja. So I wake up on Saturday morning and my sister calls me and is like, just to wake me up in case I'm not awake yet, because I'm supposed to travel, and I was leaving Makudi, Benue State, for Abuja, and then I was going to fly from Abuja to Lagos, and Makudi to Abuja is like 4 hours. So I was already up anyways when she called me. She was like, there's election today. Oh, I was like, election, okay. And that FCT minister put restriction of movement for like 22 hours. I was like, well, I'm already awake, I'm already ready to go. At that point I was already even dressed. We're almost leaving the house. I said to her, let me get to the park, I will find out what's going on and then I'll update you. I get to the park and lo and behold, they're not selling tickets to Abuja in Benue Links, which I was going to use, which is like the state park, like the official state park kind of. And I'm like, yeah, I get they are a government body, obviously they have to follow the rules. If Abuja has election and they say nobody should come in, nobody's leaving, obviously, why, a government body, we should be the first people to even follow the rule. And I was like, okay, anyways, I'll move my flight, I leave the park, I head back home. I try to move my flight. On the way I see that I cannot move my flight. I'm like, okay, what's going to now happen? We go back to the park again, to see what we can find out. Maybe they'll start selling tickets later, because I didn't really ask any questions. When I just saw people around the ticket counter and there was nobody in the ticket counter and they were like, oh, they're not selling tickets, I just left. I didn't really ask any questions. So we're going back to say, oh, maybe you start selling tickets later in the day or anything, like just find out official information from the people at the park, like people working there. And I went back and they were like, yeah, they're not selling tickets today. And then these other private vehicles that are not branded, they were like, oh, they are still going to go to Abuja, that they may open Abuja before the time of the expiration of the curfew. So the curfew was supposed to be from 8 p.m. the night before to 6 p.m. on the day of the election, which was Saturday. And my flight was for 5 p.m. So that means if that curfew holds, I will not be able to enter Abuja and I will not be able to make it for my flight. So you can understand that by this time my head is spinning. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? What do I do? How far? How long? How how short? I'm just like, kilo day, what is it? So we're at the park, we're trying to see what we can do, what other alternative we have, or I have, because I was the one traveling, but I was with my dad and my stepmom. And we're trying to find out what alternative we have and all of that. And mind you, it was not looking good, because if I can't get into Abuja, I don't know if these people will refund me. Mind you, I'm not able to move my flight, and they had sent an email as well that, oh, even if you're trying to move your flight, disregard any changes that happen, the flight will still operate and depart as at the time that it's supposed to. So I'm like, so this one, like, this is that they don't want us to move our ticket time, because for me now I can't make it into Abuja as it's looking. But I was like, well, I think I should still try and go and get to Abuja. Maybe, as these guys are saying, they may open up the road before 6 p.m. And my sister was like, she doesn't want any half and half journey. I'm like, yeah, but Abuja is a place where we've lived before. I have classmates there. You know, I have contacts, friends that I've made staying there. My dad has people. I've spent the night somewhere before because I was going somewhere else. I was passing through Abuja. So I feel like even if I cannot make it to the airport or board the flight today, I will still have a place to sleep. I will not be stranded. And so we made a decision to now buy the ticket from the private people. Mind you, this was we left the park a second time and came back, because when we were going the second time I was like, I don't think I should go home, because I was very sad at that point. If I had gone home, I would have been crying. I don't even know, I just didn't want to be miserable. So I was like, let me just head out, be in motion, and figure things out along the way. So I bought a ticket and we left Makudi at about 11:15. We didn't even go as much as an hour into our journey. Road safety stopped us. I was like, now wow, today what's going on, what's happening? Road safety stopped us. The driver said he's not with his driver's license. He was with it, he says not giving them. He was telling us that he didn't want to give them because it would have maybe escalated the issue. They stopped us, collected our key, drove our vehicle into the compound, parked it. I was like, you people, I have flight to catch. One of the road safety officers said, it's not Abuja here, you will get there, you will meet your flight. I say, Oga, all these ones they are saying in my mind, all these ones they are saying, it doesn't concern you. This is your station, it's me that knows where I'm going to. If I don't get there, I'm the one that will have issues, it's not you. I was just talking. I did not even add my mouth to that talk, because what do I want to say? I'm the one on top of hot seat. You will say anything you want to say. This is your station. This is where you are at. You're not going anywhere. Sha. We didn't waste time there. Thankfully, within maybe 30-45 minutes, they released us. Our driver paid fine though. We fined him. He paid, and then we left. We got to Nyanya at about 2:30, which should show you that 4 hours. Abuja is actually 4 hours, because the road from Makudi to Abuja is good. All the way, they repaired the road all the way, express, so you can just be driving, no bad road, no bad spot. We got to Nyanya at about 2:02, got maybe 15 minutes past 2 there, about 2:30, and the road was truly blocked. We could not get in. We were just there. We parked. I tried to reach out to the airline. I spoke to their staff. She was like, okay, she will reserve a seat for me on a flight for tomorrow. I was like, oh, thank God, we're beginning to see headway. I had reached out to a classmate. I was going to stay in his place. He was like, oh, his sister is coming back from school today, coincidentally. So I tried to reach out to another classmate. She was like, she's not even at home right now. Sorry, my alarm was ringing. She's not even at home right now. She is somewhere else. She's in her auntie's place. So I was like, this is well with my soul. What do I do now? So I called my dad. I was updating everybody really. I updated my dad, updated my siblings. My dad was like, okay, he would I should call where the place I slept before one other time. I called them. They were like, okay, no problem, I can come and stay. And tomorrow, already I known that tomorrow was when I was now going to fly out, so I can come and spend the night. So eventually, at around 5:30, they opened up the road into Abuja, and we were able to go and get to the park. We got to the park around 6 o'clock, so you can see that from where we were and getting to the park was not a long journey anymore. So when I got to the park, my siblings were like, this is 6 o'clock. There's a last flight that was supposed to leave Abuja for Lagos that day on the airline I booked, that I should go to the airport and see if I can beg them if they will allow me on that flight. Seeing that it was not that I wanted to miss my flight, it's because I didn't even know that they will put a curfew for the elections, and I'd already booked a ticket for that day, and I was not in Abuja. I'm coming from somewhere else, because I knew that if I was within Abuja, I would have made it to the airport for that flight. So I took an Uber, drove to the airport. I went and I approached the counter for the airline I booked, and I explained myself to them. They were like, oh, I should bring money, because same day tickets are more expensive. So they were like, so if I want to get a ticket, I will have to add money to the ticket that I bought so that I can follow that last flight. Mind you, this flight was already like boarding at the time. I was like, I don't have that money, because I was asking me for like a little over the amount I even paid for my ticket. I was like, I don't have that. I don't have that. So they were like, oh, there's nothing they can do. So I left the airport, went to the parking lot, like the building where they check in. I left, came outside. As I was going outside, another airline staff called me that I should come. He has a ticket for me. I was like, will you pay for the ticket? He was like, yeah, you pay. Me too. I was just tired. I went back inside. He was telling me, his ticket is 220 something thousand. I was like, oh, okay, if I had that money, I would have been going. Like, if I don't check in, they go. I was like, okay, don't worry. I have a ticket. It's just that I missed my flight, so this your ticket is not going to help me. It's not gonna help me really. So it's like, yeah. I went back outside, and then my siblings were like, oh, settle everything for tomorrow. You're in the airport now. So I went back to the counter. I was like, so tomorrow I want to move my flight to tomorrow. I want to make sure that, okay, I'm moving my flight to tomorrow. And then they were like, I have to pay 15,000. Mind you, when I called their staff earlier, and she said she was going to reserve a seat for me on the flight for the next day, she said I will just pay 5,000 naira when I come, which is for change of ticket. Now I come and you're telling me 15k. Oh, the man was like, it's for no show. When you don't show up for your flight and you want to move the flight, you pay 15,000. I'm like, I called your staff now already, so why am I still on that flight? I already called and said I can't make it for this flight. You are reserving a seat for me on tomorrow's flight. Why am I still on the flight that is leaving today? I don't get it. And mind you, this was my first time flying, so I don't know all of these procedures. I didn't really even browse. I felt like it would be a smooth experience. I didn't know that I will have all these issues here and there. So he was like, okay. He really understood with me. I'm very grateful to him. He was a blessing. He was really, really a blessing. God's favor really worked for me that day. His grace just gave me favor with him. So he was like, okay, I should pay the 5k for changing my ticket to the next day. So he changed my ticket to the next day. I was supposed to now, and I had a 7:55 p.m. ticket. So that was now sorted. So now I had to leave the airport and go to where I would sleep. So it was like, outside the airport, just close by, there's a village where there are lodges, guest houses where I can sleep. 8,000 naira a night. I said, okay, I'm sure it's 8k. He said yes. So I called my siblings, I called my dad, because my Uber price from the airport to Lugbe was like about 7,000 plus. So it's better I go somewhere close by. And it was like, tomorrow there are bikes, authorized Okadas that bring people back into the airport, so it won't be an issue at all. I was like, if that is the case, that would be a better option. So I radioed my people, updated them. They were like, that's fine, it's better I do that. So he took me to the lodge. I paid, and I spent the night there. The next day after church, which was Sunday, he came and picked me at about 12 noon and took me back to the airport and dropped me off there. He spent some time with his colleagues, because he's a staff of the airline I booked. Spent some time with his colleagues. He even bought me water and a drink. And after I spent like 1 maybe 2 hours, he as well also left. So I was just waiting for when they'll start boarding. So I think past 5 like that, they started boarding. They started checking in rather. So I checked in, went upstairs, and still waited till it was time for my flight, and tada, I flew into Lagos. My flight was less than 45 minutes even, so the flight gone was smooth. But you see, the procedure to reach the flight point, plenty. I was all jumping hurdles. So what's my moral of story? Please, if you want to travel by air, by road, if you want to travel, check the news, find out if anything is happening anywhere, because I would blame myself partly that I did not check. If I had checked, maybe before the day of that flight safe, I would have moved it, because I realized that the airline now saw that, this curfew issue is going to give people issue. They will start moving flights. And the flight I took, trust me, we're not up to 20 in the plane. We're not up to 20 people passengers. We're not up to 20. So I'm sure that flight, so people were not much, and people will not be moving. Although it was a Saturday flight, so maybe a lot of people. But on my last, that Sunday flight, we're not much. So, and Saturday, Sundays, people that are going back and forth. But Sunday flight were less than 20. So just check so that you are on the safe side. And that's about that. So the continuation of this vlog is just the whole flight experience. I took some pictures, some videos. I'll just show you that, and that'll be all. Thanks for watching. This was the day that I had missed my flight when I came to the airport to see if I'll be late on the last flight for that day. This was that day. This is me with my boarding pass on the day that I eventually took my flight. And your boarding pass is usually given to you after you've checked in your luggage. And that means you can now go upstairs to the wait area before your flight is called. So this is me heading upstairs. This place is passengers only. So that means if you're with your family, they can't follow you at this point. Like, this point is for just passengers. And the wait area upstairs where I'm heading to has shops. There were shops downstairs as well, but this upstairs area also has shops. I saw like clothing shops, shoe shops, but at that point they were closed really because it was in the evening already. This is like the apron area where the flights or the planes are parked rather, for maintenance, for boarding and all of that. This is me heading to board my flight or board the plane that was going to take me to Lagos. This is the apron area. It's a really large expanse of land. I guess it's not a large expanse of land, but it's like a very big area. A lot of activities are going on. Vehicles are moving left, right. Very noisy as well. I think these are stairs that are attached to the doors of planes to enable people climb and get in to the aircraft or into the plane, I guess. This is the flight I was going to board. The plane I was going to board in the distance. This is me just shining my teeth because to get to this point, a lot had happened. So I was just really happy that finally, I was going to make my journey. At this point, we were taking off. We had boarded, I think the safety precautions were going on at this time as well. I can't really remember, but yeah, we were trying to take off. I got a window seat, so that's like the wing of the plane that you can see with a red light. So we had, settled down. The safety precautions were done. I think at this point we were stable in the air. Our snack was shared to us. There was a bottle of water. In this box, there's like juice, a croissant, a cookie. This is a date, and then there's like one sweet there as well. So this is like complimentary of your ticket that you've gotten. And then at this point, we had gotten to Lagos. Now we can actually now see like lights, houses, roads. You can see cars. Those are roads. Because before this point, maybe the clips I took, you can't really see anything down there. Because at some point we're flying over areas that are not habited. Like nobody lives in those areas. Maybe bush, water. I can't even tell. At this point, we had gotten to Lagos. We had landed. You can see the airline staff waving us off because this vehicle is a vehicle that takes people that have just landed to the arrival section where you take your bag from the rolling belt and then pretty much head home to your house. So it's like a drive. It's not something you can walk, but I mean this I don't think you can walk. You will be tired because it's quite a distance. You can see that this bus is still like not a bus, it's a vehicle. I don't know what it's called. It's driving. And then we've gotten to the arrival section. And yeah, I got in. One of my bags had already arrived before I started taking the video, and my second bag pretty much arrived at this point as well. I picked up my luggage, and yeah, I was good to go home at this point. I was done with the whole airport thing, but I had to wait for my Uber for a bit because I had a couple cancellations. You know, when is the airport you're coming to? You're going to hear a lot. You're not going to be paying what is on the app. Most times they want to negotiate with you for higher. You know, Nigeria is just a very funny place because they feel like if you are able to buy a ticket, you can pay more money for your Uber. At this point, my Uber driver had arrived. I had to like go to another parking lot, which is not like in the same area as this arrival section. It's a parking lot that has like levels, and I think we're on the second or third level. My Uber driver was paying a certain fee with like there's a ticket stand, a place where you have to show that ticket before you leave the car park. So he was paying that fee, and I just had to try to get like a video of myself in the area. At this point, I was heading home. I sat in front because I was like, let me be able to get, you know, clear videos. I can now see that the lights were reflecting too much into my camera. I can't even see like the writings on those descriptions to even say, okay, this was where I was at this point, or to even tell you guys that okay, I had gotten to, you know, VR at this point, I had gotten to so and so place at this point. But yeah, at this point I had gotten home. My brother was paying my Uber, settling my Uber fee, and you know, glad to be home. It was quite the journey. The flight itself didn't take long, but the wait time, the whole stress from the day before. But all in all, it was a great experience. And yeah, thanks for sticking with me up until this point. I will see you in my next video. Bye.